Hello, everyone. This is Mike Flaherty with Alpha Centric, and I'm joined this morning with Ryan Dunnigan and Anna Bunn from our the sub-advisor to the Alpha Centric Life Sci and Healthcare Fund. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks for having us. Good morning.
As usual, there's a lot going on in this space, and you know, it seems like there's kind of fits and starts in biotech. And I got to be honest, I was reading an article the other day, kind of got my attention. Big pharma turning to China for newest drug ideas, and I kind of got my blood boiling a little bit. I'm thinking, God, have we not learned anything coming out of COVID? But I think when you peel the onion back, like with a lot of things, there's some logic to this. And Ryan, I'd be interested here, kind of on your take on that.
Yeah, I think this is a developing strategy from large pharma. The technology, the research, the molecules coming out of China has without a doubt improved over the last number of years. That's why big pharma is now looking there. And there's a few advantages in the Chinese market to understanding how successful these molecules may be as they take them from that market across Europe and maybe eventually to the US, and that the development costs are cheaper. The timelines through the clinical trial process in China are quicker, they're faster than in the US. And the licensing deals, most of these interactions with large pharma are not outright M&A, they're licensing of specific assets. So the licensing deals compared to a licensing deal in the US are much cheaper. So there are advantages that large pharma is exploiting by going into the Chinese market and getting access to what's now pretty high quality science. Now, they can't take this drug, only run a clinical study in China, and then bring it forward to the US FDA. This is a well-trodden roadmap where the US FDA says, no, the clinical trials that have been run have to be representative of the US patient population, and the trials have to be run with the same rigor and standards that a typical US-based clinical trial would have. So the FDA is going to look across all of that data before approving a drug to make sure it meets the standards that we're used to here in the US market and in the European markets.
Has there ever been an instance where there's been one of these licensing deals and it's started to kind of go through the FDA protocol that they have not approved?
So there was a
They
case,
where you've seen them come in and say, no, this didn't pass muster here.
yeah, there was a Lilly drug back in 2022, I believe, 2021, that was based in China, Chinese-based clinical trials. They brought the drug forward to the FDA, and the FDA pushed back and said, sort of as I alluded to earlier, the patient population here in the clinical trial is not representative of what we see across the United States. So go back, run additional trials with a patient population that is applicable to the US market. We want to see that. And so
Okay.
that this is the roadmap that everyone's now following. This is a direct as a result of the FDA pushing back here. Now companies know, okay, we have to go ahead and do this. So they're building that into their expectations when they go into the Chinese market now and license assets.
A lot of the biologics coming out of China are monoclonal antibodies. And so that's a very small piece of kind of the innovative space. So you're not seeing a ton of gene therapies, you're not seeing a ton of bispecific antibodies that target two things. These are relatively simple molecules that are easy to make in the US as well. And they're easy to sort of engineer little pieces of them. And so that's what's taking off in China, especially in the oncology space, but in other
Hmm.
areas of innovation, they're not as advanced yet. That will likely continue to change as well.